Hello, my beautiful and valuable friends, and welcome to this channel. I'm Tetevik, and today we're going to discuss how to stop being negative and become more positive. It is very crucial for our lives to understand that sometimes we can have negative thoughts, but we need to move them away to become positive again. If you have a habit of becoming always negative and being always negative, if negativity is your lifestyle, then you have a little issue and we need to solve that. But that's all right. A lot of people live in negativity. You won't imagine 70% to 85% per day people can have negative thoughts. That's a lot of negative thoughts. So first of all, understand you are not alone. Second of all, don't judge yourself. Accept yourself as you are. And third of all, be grateful that you have reached this kind of a bar that I cannot do this anymore. I'm so negative. I want to become positive. Or you might be actually opposite. You might have been positive person and you were in relationship with somebody toxic and now you are like them and you're not positive anymore. You lost that sparkle. You lost that bright light in yourself and you want to return to the light. Let's go back to the light. I'm not joking, but that's very crucial. Or it could be that you just want to realize that sometimes you do have negative thoughts, but you want to realize how to illuminate them to remain more positive. So it doesn't matter if you are a negative person who needs salvation, if you are a person who was positive and has turned to negative and again needs salvation, or you're a positive person that sometimes is struggling with negative thoughts but you want to remain in positivity always, this video is for you. Also, it has no gender bias. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, we have negative emotions. We deal with negative people and we sometimes are facing negative situation. We need to learn how to deal with that. That's the most important part, how to deal with it. When we acknowledge there is a problem, we need to solve it. I always remind you that if you need to have one-to-one session, you can always contact me below and we can schedule that appointment. I have created a specific training module. It's like a course that people can go through. Takes few weeks to accomplish until the finish line, but it is worth it because you see, it's like cleaning the weeds. If you have a giant garden, it will not take one day. It will take few days. It can take sometimes few weeks to fulfill the idea of how the garden should look like and to clean the weeds. That's why this course is a little bit longer, and you need to be committed to this to fully pass the training. You will have also different exercises, you will have different tests that you will undergo, and that will really allow you to get to know yourself. First of all, get to know that you have a negativity, what sort of negativity you have, because negativity can be also placed in different folders. There are different type of negativities, and maybe it's a criticizing that you do to yourself, maybe it's the fearful scenarios you create in your mind, maybe it's a sabotaging thoughts that you dwell on, and that's why you never succeed. Doesn't matter which form of negativity you are facing it, and I'm here to help you. First of all, remember negativity is just an energy, and you can choose, as anything in life, you can choose to have that energy or not to have. Second of all, remember that it is your responsibility, not your dad's, not your boyfriend's, not your girlfriend's, not your colleagues, not your co-worker or your boss. It is yours responsibility to take care of your emotions, of your thoughts, of your mind. And third of all, whatever you do, do with a gratitude heart. Even now when you're listening, be grateful to yourself that you are committed to find these few minutes to focus on this subject and finally understand how to stop being negative and how can you start being a positive person. It is all possible. Now, I'm going to give you 3 steps, and it's very interesting. Human mind can focus for 18 minutes. So I will be very quick to make sure that we don't lose your attention. Doctor, we're losing them. No, I'm joking. It's just 5 minutes. We still have... So I will make sure that I put everything very specifically, systematically in these few minutes, so we have your focus and the brain can actually take on the information. I'm also going to give you only 3 different steps You don't need to have 27, you don't need to have 45. The thing is, when we have a lot of things, we usually don't focus on any of them. You know, it's also very interesting. When you have a lot of things to choose from in the shop, you end up choosing none. And the same way is with, you know, sometimes people ask me why online dating doesn't work for them. It's because I say, when you have 1,000 people, you always are expecting for somebody better. That's why you don't choose anybody. You don't dwell on anybody. You just carry on your search. That's why I'm going to give you only 3. So from these 3, you need to remember at least one. The best, of course, to take all 3, but they're very connected and very systematic, so I'm sure you will do a great job. Let's start. Number 1, what you need to do is do not entertain negativity. With any cost, with any price, you do not. It's like, no, thank you very much. Very nice, very interesting, but no, and that's it. That's very sharp no. You can smile to it, you can joke if you want, but your reaction to negativity is, I'm not entertaining this. This is not for me. This is not for me. I'm not interested, you know? And if you're truly not interested, nobody can actually blame you or force you or, you know, pressure you. If you're not interested, you're not interested. Learn to not entertain negativity, because negativity as energy, it needs to have the food. If you are not entertaining it, it cannot get the food, so it dies. You know, if you don't water a flower, it will die. You know, if you don't reply to person who is asking a question, person will leave. You know, if you have an orange juice and you keep putting water into this orange juice eventually will come out, will come on the table, on the floor, and you will have a glass of water. This is a very vivid way how to imagine things. Try to imagine that this orange juice, I have nothing against orange juice, I love orange juice and I make my own every day. But imagine orange juice is this positivity. And you put, for example, coffee in it. The orange juice will come, and the coffee, let's imagine coffee is something negative, it will overwhelm the cup, and the cup will pour out the orange juice and you will have only coffee in. Now imagine the same way as you can kill the positivity with negativity, you can also overcome negativity with positivity. It means you don't entertain negativity, you replace it with something positive. Let's imagine now that you have Coke in your glass. I say Coke because, you know, it's not a very healthy drink. In 1 glass of Coke, you have 5 tablespoons of sugar. That is a lot of sugar. So that's not good for health at all. And you know, it's made by the chemicals. So let's take Coke. And now pour in the Coke pure filtered alkaline water. You're pouring and pouring and pouring. What will happen? The same thing that happened with the orange juice. Coke will overcome the boundaries of the glass, will come out like, you know, like a waterfall will come out from the glass until you have a pure water there. And this is the same way with negativity. To overcome negativity, you are not paying attention to it. You are not analyzing that negative thought. You are not fighting against that negative person, toxic relationship you have. You're not. You are just moving away. You know, you're running away. You're staying away. You're not reacting. I'm not participating in this. This is not for me. And you need to learn that. That's not an easy skill to architect, but if you do it few times, it becomes a habit. You know, everything is in a habit. Everything is a habit. It means if you have established negative thinking, you can also now rewind it and make a positive thinking. Number 2, I want you to understand that negative thought is just the thought. All right? Has nothing to do with the reality, has nothing to do with your future. It's just a thought, and that is fine. We have multiple thoughts, you know? Every day we think thousands and thousands of different thoughts. We use so many words, we think about so many things. It is just a thought. You need to tell yourself, I'm just experiencing a thought. That's it. Has nothing to do with the reality. You know, when you're going to the interview, you come home and you're already scaring yourself that you will not get this role. And what is that? It's just a thought. You go on a date and you come from the date, you know, if you're a woman, he gave you some nice flowers, maybe paid for the dinner or a concert, whatever you went, you know, give you maybe a ride home if you know him. If you don't know, then maybe paid for your cab. Or if you're a man, you had a nice dinner with a girl, you know, you laughed with her, she gave you this feminine energy, she gave you compliments, she made you feel very masculine, and now you both are going home, and in your mind you're already starting to sabotage. Oh wow, it has been 20 minutes, he hasn't said anything. Oh, it has been 1 hour, she hasn't said anything to my message. And you start sabotaging and scaring yourself just because the person hasn't responded. Let's think this is just a stranger you met. You completely crash on yourself, you know, everything, all your values are just in a bin, and you are starting to scare yourself. Has nothing to do with the reality. Maybe the person went home and thought, you know, that's not actually for me. It's a nice girl, it's a nice guy, but it's not for me. You know, I'm looking for somebody else. Maybe the person went home and their ex is just standing there and they think that, okay, you know what, let's try again. Nothing against you, nothing personal. They just decided to start over, you know. Or maybe something happened, an accident happened, a person actually passed away, and you are actually mad at them, but people are, that person is not even alive anymore. So I'm of course exaggerating with my different examples to make you understand that it's just a thought. Stop scaring yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. You know, sometimes we do something and we think, oh, I should have done better. You know, I could have made my hair better. I could have made my makeup better. Maybe if you're a man, you think I could have wear a different shirt. I could present a bit more confidently. And we're never satisfied. We're always judging ourselves, you know, and this judgment is just a thought. Negative thought is just a thought. So you just need to realize I acknowledge it's just a thought. And you can also do one exercise if it helps. This is very practical. You can exaggerate your fear until the abnormous, amount. You think about the job, you are afraid that you will lose the job, completely exaggerate it to the ridiculous type of the, drama. Think that, yes, I will lose the job, but they will fire me. Everybody look at me, how I'm fired. I will lose all my money. I will lose my car. I will lose all my clothes. I will lose all my family. I will lose all my house. I will be homeless. I will have nothing to eat and I will die. Amazing scenario. Now when you have imagined that, when you have looked at the fear, you can be like, that's so funny, like that will never happen to me. Even if I lose the job, I'll find some other job. If I lose my money, I'll make another money. If I lose this person, I'll find another. And when you realize it's just a thought, you stop scaring yourself. You can just laugh. It will never happen to me. Only good things will happen to me. You need to affirm yourself, and that's why affirmation are positive thoughts repeated over and over again until they sink in your subconscious, and that is how you start thinking. So say to yourself, that will never happen to myself. I will need to learn to deal with this in a positive way. I choose to not scare myself anymore because only good things will happen to me. I'm always safe and I'm always protected. And I'm always taken care of. And the last step, and this is the most important, I would say, it's the metaphysical step. I always call these the philosophy, psychology, those are sciences or theology, and they all reply to this question equally the same. They say that the cause of any issue is lack of self-love. That's why the third step is for you to learn to love yourself more. I'm not saying just to love yourself, because I think we all have some kind of maybe a little bit of love in ourselves, but learn to love yourself a bit more today. Bit more than you did yesterday, bit more than you did 1 hour ago. Learn to love yourself more. And when you love yourself more, you stop hurting yourself. Because love and hurt, they don't know each other. They're not sisters, they're not siblings, they're complete strangers. Love doesn't know criticism. Love doesn't know fear. Love doesn't know judgment. Love is pure. Love is patient, Love gives you wings, Love is very caring. Love is very soft. Love is gentle. That's why for you, if you don't know, you can practice love again and again until you understand that I didn't know this, but that's actually the answer to deal with a negative thought, to deal with a negative person, to deal with a negative situation, you need to start loving yourself. You see, when you start loving yourself, you will notice that negative thoughts fade away because all you can hear are good things, good thoughts, positive thoughts, encouragement you say to yourself. You will notice negative people will fade away. And this is very amazing because when you start loving yourself, negative person as a vampire can see that he or she can't get the blood from you. That's why they leave. Remember, negativity, if entertained, is growing. Negativity loses its power, and negative toxic people also lose their power when you don't entertain, when you don't give them food, when you don't give the attention. And lastly, remember that when you love yourself, the love will fade everything that is not pure, that is not kind, that is not clean, that is not light. So well done you for listening. Let's just recap really quickly. To stop negativity and become more positive person, number one, you need to remember that you are refusing from now on to entertain a negative thought. You say no to negativity. You don't give to it power, and when you don't give that power, it fades away. Number two, you realize that negativity is just a thought. Negativity is just the energy, and you are not taking that energy. If you have a negative thought, it's just a thought. You need to remind yourself that you're experiencing a negative thought and let it go. And number three, learn to love yourself. Love is the best medicine for everything. Thank you so much for watching. Let me just remind you to not forget to smile today and enjoy your life.